So thank you everyone for joining Sri Chaitanya SCSMath Nourish Your Soul Through Conscious Cooking Program. Today we have a talk with Krishna Kinkar and Krishna Kishor talking about the Lord is tasting the sweet mood of devotion. So I'll just now hand you over to Krishna Kinkar.
Thank you. So let me share my screen and then we look at the slides and then we can continue. Om Mayanati Mirandasya Jananjana Shalakaya Chakshurumritam Jena Tasme Shri Guru Ucha Shri Guru Varga Bandita Mahabhavanditaya Shada Urva Parya Parampara Pachalita Praja Pramurta Kritehe Bhaktir Nirmala Nirjarasa Nivritam Shamrakakam Shadaram Ande Shri Guru Deva Manat Shiro Chajavaram Nijam Kurva Vishta Shupurkam Kurvanera Shisha Shambushitam Chantya Shanasta Viranipanam Shri Rupa Padanugam Govinda Vidam Uchvalam Bharatanam Bhakti Amitam Sundaram Ande Vishwaguruncha Divya Bhagavat Premnohi Bijakritam Devam Divyatanam Shashanda Vadanam Balarka Chalantam Chandrananda Puram Shudeka Varanam Vairabhya Vidyamudim Shri Siddhantani Bhakti Rashatam Saraspatanam Varam Vandedam Shubhadam Adhika Sharanam Yashishwaram Shri Dharam Sri Siddhanta Saraswati Divito Gaudiya Gurvanvaye Patabano Riva Prapatta Gagane Yogaur Shankirtanahi Maya Vada Timingilo Daragatanu Richachivaniman Krishna Prema Shadapti Gahana Sukam Pradapuruntam Bhaje Panchakapatrubhyascha Kripa Sindhuvayevacha Paritanam Pavanapo Vishnapapo Namo Namaha Namo Mahabhadanyaya Krishna Prema Pradayate Krishna Krishna Chaitanya Namni Kurtise Namaha Vrindaya Tulashi Devaya Priyaya Kesabasacha Krishna Bhakti Pradidevi Satchavache Namo Namaha Atmanatva Mantra Gurunna Bhagavad Hartadan Vyasan Jagat Gurunatva Tattva Jayamati Jai Saparikara Shri Guru Gauranga Gandharva Govinda Sundara Patpatanam Jayastu Jai Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadara Shri Shri Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. So our humble Dandavat pranams to all the devotees. It is by the grace of our divine masters and the kind Vaishnavas that we have got this opportunity to speak about the sweet pastimes of the Lord and his devotees. So we are not really qualified to speak, so please forgive our mistakes. Our topic for today is the Lord is tasting the sweet mood of devotion. So today we will recite most of the pastimes from Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita Antya Leela, chapter 10. In this chapter, we see how Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is performing ecstatic Harinam Sankirtan. The Lord is distributing Mahaprasad in the form of the holy name, and we see how he is tasting and relishing the various preparations offered by his loving devotees. Sorry, Prabhu, you are on mute, Prabhu. Oh, you may start again. Sorry.
That's my wife. She always has me on mute. Parashantare Shava Bhakta Prabhure Dekite Parama Anande Shave Nila Chala Jaite. So we see that here the devotees happily arrive in Jagannath Puri before the start of the Jagannath Rath Yatra festival. All the devotees immediately fall at the lotus feet of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, and the Lord lifted and embraced every one of them. Bhaktagana Padeyashi Prabhura Charane Uttana Prabhu Shabare Kaila Alingane. All the devotees from Bengal stayed in Jagannath Puri for the 4 months of the rainy season and observed many other ceremonies, such as the anniversary of Lord Krishna's birth. When the devotees had arrived from Bengal, they all desired to give Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu something to eat. Each devotee would bring a certain type of prasadam. He would entrust it to Govinda and request him, please arrange that the Lord will surely eat this prasadam. Prabhu, the next slide, I believe.
Yeah. There we go.
Purve jadi gaura haite bhakta gana aila prabhure kichu koyaite shabra icha haile. Some brought paida, a coconut preparation, some brought sweet balls, and some brought cakes and sweet rice. The prasadam was of different varieties and all very costly. Keho kona prasada ane deya govinda tani hiha jena avasya bhakshana korena goshai. Each devotee would bring a certain type of prasadam. He would entrust it to Govinda and request him, please arrange that the Lord will surely eat this prasadam. So Govinda would present the prasadam and say to Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, this was given by such and such devotee. The Lord, however, would not actually eat it. He would simply say, keep it in storage. Govinda kept accumulating the food, and soon it filled the corner of the room. There was soon enough to feed 100 people. Just in relation to this, when we were talking earlier, me and Krishna Kinkar Prabhu, it reminded me of when Srila Govinda Maharaj would visit London on his world tour. And all the devotees, they would bring many types of offerings, sweets and savories. And Srila Gurudev, being diabetic, he could not really take most of these offerings. So he would honor a little bit, and then most of it would end up in storage in the small room in Green Street where the coca would normally stay. And if you walked past after a few days or towards the end of Gurudev's stay, you would see the whole room was piled high with boxes of sweets. And there would normally be a coca lying on the bed in a sugar coma from all the sweets that he was eating. So,
thank you for sharing that, Prabhu. Govindere sabe puche kariya jatana amadatta prasada prabhure ki karaila bhakshana. All the devotees asked Govinda with great eagerness, have you given Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu the prasadam brought by me? When the devotees questioned Govinda, he had to tell them some lies. Therefore, one day, he spoke to the Lord in disappointment. Many respectable devotees, headed by Advaitacharya, make a great endeavor to entrust me with varieties of food for you. You do not eat it, but they ask me again and again, how long shall I go on cheating them? How shall I be freed from this responsibility? So here we can see Govinda, the servant of Mahaprabhu, is revealing his mind in confidence to the Lord. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu replied, why are you so foolishly unhappy? Bring here to me whatever they have given you. Etta boli Mahaprabhu Vashila Bhajane Amadari Dhari Govinda Kare Nivedane. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu said on the eat. Then Govinda offered him the preparations one after another. And as he did so, he spoke the name of the person who had given each one. Acharjera paida paya sarapupi e amrita gutika manda karpura kupi. These preparations, paida, sweet rice, cakes made with cream, and also amrita gutika, manda, and a pot of camphor, they have been given by Advaita Acharya. So here you can see the camphor is mentioned here. You must just take note that this camphor is edible camphor. It's not the camphor that they use when they bring havan. Next, there are varieties of food, cakes, cream, amrita manda, and padmachini, given by Srivas Pandit. All these are gifts of Acharya Ratna, and these varieties of gifts are from Acharya Nidhi. And all these varieties of food have been given by Vasudev Datta, Murari Gupta, and Buddhimanti Khan. These are gifts given by Shriman Sena, Shriman Pandita, and Acharya Nandana. Please eat them all. Here are the preparations made by the inhabitants of Kulina Gram, and these have been made by the inhabitants of Khanda. In this way, Govinda gave everyone's name as he put the food before the Lord. Being very satisfied, the Lord began to eat it all. The hard sweets made of coconut, mukuta narikela, the sweet balls, the many kinds of sweet drinks, and all other preparations were at least a month old. But although they were old, they had not become tasteless or stale. Indeed, they had stayed fresh. They had all stayed fresh. This is the mercy of Sri Chaitanya. Chattajanera Bhakshya Prabhu Dandeke Kaila Arakichu Ache Pali Govinde Puchila. Within a very short time, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu ate enough for 100 people. Then he asked Govinda, is there anything left? Is there anything more left? So here we see it's important to note that Govinda is mentioning the names of the devotees as he is offering the preparation to the Lord. And as the Lord is hearing the name of that devotee is automatically receiving the mercy of the Lord. This is a special position of the servitor, the personal servant of the Lord. Okay, so here we see on the top right-hand corner, that's Jagannath Prasad, so many different varieties. As you know, I heard from a devotee, they say in a day, there's something like 52 offerings done to Lord Jagannath. So you can imagine how much of Mahaprasad is being distributed there. And the bottom right there, the photo is taken from the temple, the Brazilian devotees. I think that they did this offering during Govardhan Puja festival. So it's a nice photo and so many varieties made by the Brazilian devotees. You managed to find this on the internet.
So Govinda replied, now there are only the bags of Raghava. Raghava Pandita Chale Jale Sajaya Damayanti Yatadravya Diyache Kariya. The Lord said, let them remain today. I shall see them later. The next day, while taking his lunch in a secluded place, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu opened the bags of Raghava and inspected their contents one after another. Raghavera Agya Ara Korine Damayanti Duhara Prabhu Tesneha Parama Bhakati. Raghava Pandit came with bags full of food prepared very nicely by his sister Damayanti. He tasted a little of everything they contained and praised it all for its flavor and aroma. Some of you may be more qualified to explain this than me, but this is kind of in view of the theme that we're discussing today, with the Lord tasting the sweetness of the devotion. I was reading this and thinking that here, for some reason, Mahaprabhu, he wants to taste this separately. There seems to be some special mood of devotion here that he is tasting from Damayanti, that he wants to take this on the side somewhere separate and really enjoy the nectar that is being offered there.
This bags of food that was brought from Mahaprabhu was brought by Raghava Pandit. And we can see this has become very famous by the Gaudiya Vaishnava Sampradayas, that today it's famously known, well, then and even now, this is famously known as Raghavera Jali. Raghavera Jali means the bags of Raghava Pandit. Okay. Let's continue.
Okay, so one of the dishes that was being offered was shukta. And here we find a sort of description of what is shukta. It consists of an array of vegetables. Bitter gourd is the main ingredient of this dish, or karela. And other vegetables that sort of can be included in the recipe are things like plantain, sweet potato, ridge gourd, drumsticks, eggplant, and raw papaya. And Krishna Das Kaviraj is explaining in Chaitanya Charitamrita not to neglect shukta because it is a bitter preparation. And he explains how Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu derived more happiness from eating this shukta than from drinking panchamrita, which is a preparation made of milk, sugar, ghee, honey, and yogurt. And he says that since Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is the supreme personality of Godhead, he extracts the purpose from everything. He accepted Damayanti's affection for him, and therefore he derived great pleasure even from the dried bitter leaves of shukta and from kashandi, which is a sour condiment. He explains that Damayanti, because of her natural love for Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, she was considering the Lord as an ordinary human being. Therefore, she thought he would become sick by overeating and that he would have mucus in his abdomen. And because of her sincere affection, she thought that eating this shukta would cure the Lord's disease. Considering these affectionate thoughts of Damayanti, the Lord was very pleased. All the varieties of the remaining prasadam were kept to eat throughout the year. When Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu ate his lunch, Swarup Damodar would serve it little by little. Sometimes Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu would take it at night. The Lord certainly enjoys preparations made with faith and love by his devotees. So Krishna Kinkar wants to know if anyone has ever made shukta. And this is where my wife can tell you that she once made it, and apparently I didn't like it.
It was for the the disappearance of the Vyasapuja of Srila Guru Maharaj.
Aha, he liked shukta.
Because I think in a darshan, Srila Charjadev say that he liked shukta. So I never done it before. I just find this in Jamuna's recipe. She has a recipe for shukta. And where we are, we have the advantage that there are many, these vegetables are very available in the Indian supermarkets. So it wasn't difficult to do. It wasn't difficult to get, but it's kind of long preparation to do.
Yeah. It's a very bitter subject. Sorry to do.
The whole preparation does not taste that that bitter as one may think, but it's very strong flavor. That is true because of the Karela. However, once like you cook it, the bitterness is just remains like eatable. It's not something so strong. It's just it is cooked in all the mustard oil and all the mustard seed and strong spices, and with the Karela and the drumstick and the other one that is on top of there that I don't remember the name. In the slide,
top right hand?
That one. No, the other one.
Left, yeah.
That one.
This one?
I don't remember the name. No, the other one.
I know everyone says moringa.
I think it's
moringa
or turia. I don't
drumsticks.
remember. No, the drumstick I know, but the other one, turia.
This one, the bitter ridge god.
Okay, yeah, I don't know.
Ridge god is the English name is a ridge god, yeah.
Okay.
Here in South Africa, the Indians call it Kinkar. So
okay.
That's a South Indian name, so I don't know.
Very
healthy, yeah.
But here we find that Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, he found it very sweet. So actually your offering was very sweet. It's just me who's bitter.
Yeah, and these vegetables are extremely healthy. So many benefits of Karela and this ridge gourd, moringa. Now they have moringa in tablet form, in powder form. People are
people with diabetics.
Yeah, it's good for people with diabetes. It reduces your cholesterol levels, cleanses the liver. So much of benefits in these. And Srila Gurudev, I remember, he really liked Karela quite a bit. Okay. right, let us continue. So here's quite a bit of preparations made by Shri Raghava Pandit's sister, Damayanti Devi, and Srila Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami is explaining in some detail the different preparations made by Shri Damayanti Devi, but we'll just very briefly speak about some of them. She made 100 varieties of condiments and pickles. She also made some sweetmeats, sugar confections, and cheese. She made long-lasting cheese, many varieties of sweet milk with milk and cream, and many other varied preparations, such as Amrita Karpura. She made many sweetmeats in the shape of balls. Some were made with powdered coconut, and others looked as white as the water of the Ganges. In this way, she made many varieties of long-lasting sugar confections. So we were speaking about the color of the water of the Ganges being white. The powdered coconut sweet looked as white as the water of the Ganges, and when we go to the river Ganges, we do not see her water being white. We see it as brown, muddy water. You can see we do not have that kind of vision to see the real color of Ganges water. And here she talks about, Srila Krishnadas Kaviraj talks about pickles. I know one of the devotees, I think Nandapriya Devi, is going to do some pickles for us. So she can share with us some nice pickle recipes there. That will be exciting. She also prepared flat rice, fried grains, sweet and earth from Ganges. Damayanti took the earth from the Ganges, dried it, powdered it, strained it through a fine cloth, mixed in aromatic ingredients, and rolled it into small little balls. So from this we can see, we've never heard someone make any preparation from the soil from the Ganges. She has a special process where she knows how to collect the soil from the Ganges, filter it, strain it, mix it, and we've never ever heard of something and probably never tasted something like this. So we can see here that Damayanti Devi is no ordinary person. She knows how to use the earth and make sweets for Mahaprabhu to enjoy. And Mahaprabhu, he is relishing all of this. So Srila Krishnadas Kaviraj is saying, I could not mention the names of all these wonderful eatables, even in a lifetime. Damayanti made hundreds and thousands of varieties. So attached is the photo I was talking about earlier on the bottom right-hand side is edible camphor. This was mentioned in the other slide as well. And I've tried, we've tried searching for this, but some of the shops didn't have it. So it's not very easy to obtain. And apparently it has a very pungent flavor, and I've seen some images on it. It looks like little pieces of sugar candy. So Damayanti Devi, you can see she knew how to use this edible camphor and flavor some of the dishes and how to cook with it. So I'm not sure if any of the devotees ever cooked with edible camphor. Anyone? Maybe you can share with us.
Yeah, I'm just trying to imagine like people now, like near the local temples, like getting some mud, making their sweets. And I cannot see this catching on in like East London, Or...
No, definitely not. Yeah. So edible camphor is apparently good for digestion. It has other benefits, but I was also reading that it's not something that we can just readily go buy and eat. Apparently one has to consult with a doctor before they eat this kind of, food item. Yeah. All right. Let's continue.
Jagannatera bahu mulya prashada anaila bhaktagane lana prabhu bhojane vishaila. So Shivananda brought his son Chaitanya Das to be introduced to the Lord, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, and the Lord inquired about his name. When the Lord heard that his name was Chaitanya Das, he said, "What kind of name have you given him? It is very difficult to understand." Shivananda Sen replied, "He has kept the name that appeared to me from within." Then he invited Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu for lunch. Shivananda Sen bought very costly remnants of Lord Jagannath's food. He brought it and offered it to Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, who sat down to accept the prasadam with his associates. Shivanandera Gurave Prabhu Karila Bojana Ati Guru Bojane Prabhura Prashanana Hemana. Because of Shivananda Sen's glories, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu ate all kinds of prasadam to honor his request. However, the Lord ate more than necessary, and therefore his mind was dissatisfied. So even though he's the Lord himself, he's showing us, I guess, that we have to be careful in how we eat. He's showing his more renounced role and showing us that if we eat too much and eat too opulently, then we will suffer as a result. The next day, Chaitanya Das, the son of Shivananda Sain, invited an invitation to the Lord. He could understand the Lord's mind, and therefore he arranged for a different kind of food. He offered yogurt, limes, ginger, soft butter, and salt. Seeing all these arrangements, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was very pleased. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu said, "This boy knows my mind. Therefore, I am very satisfied to accept his invitation." After saying this, the Lord ate the rice mixed with yogurt and offered Chaitanya Das the remnants of his food. The 4 months of Chaturmasya passed in this manner, with the Lord accepting invitations from his devotees. However, because of a heavy schedule of invitations, some of the Vaishnavas could not get an open day on which to invite the Lord. This is you, Prabhu.
Yeah, just trying to move my slide out of there.
Aha.
Bhakta Shrama Jani Kaila Kirtana Samapana Sabalaya Shi Kaila Samutre Snapana. Understanding the fatigue of the devotees, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu stopped the congregational chanting. Then he bathed in the sea, accompanied by them all. So after chanting, and the devotees were tired, Mahaprabhu had to take a rest. Well, actually, he bathed in the sea first, then he distributed prasadam to all the devotees. He also took some of the prasadam, and then he also went to rest. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu then lay down at the door of the Gambhira, and Govinda came there to massage his legs. It was a steady, long-standing rule that Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu would lie down to rest after lunch, and Govinda would come to massage his legs. Then Govinda would honor the remnants of the food left by Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. This time when the Lord lay down, he occupied the entire doorway. Govinda could not enter the room. We can see this at the picture on the bottom right-hand side. And therefore he made the following request. Govinda said, "Kindly turn on one side. Let me pass to enter the room." Govinda made this request again and again, but the Lord replied, "I cannot move my body." Govinda repeatedly requested, "I want to massage your legs." Tabe Govinda bahir vasha tara upare diya, pittara ghare gela Mahaprabhure langhiya. Then Govinda spread the Lord's wrapper over his body, and in this way entered the room, crossing over the Lord. Govinda massaged the Lord's legs as usual. He pressed the Lord's waist and back very softly, and thus all the Lord's fatigue went away. As Govinda stroked his body, the Lord slept very nicely for about 45 minutes, and then his sleep broke. When Chaitanya Mahaprabhu saw Govinda sitting by his side, he was somewhat angry. "Why have you been sitting here for so long today?" the Lord asked. "Why didn't you go to take your meal after I fell asleep?" The Lord asked, "How did you enter the room? Why didn't you go out to take your lunch in the same way?" Govinda mentally replied, "My duty is to serve, even if I have to commit offenses or go to hell." So Govinda is mentally thinking this, and obviously the Lord is reading his mind. "I would not mind committing hundreds and thousands of offenses for service of the Lord, but I greatly fear committing even a glimpse of an offense for my own self." Thinking in this way, Govinda kept silent. He did not reply to the Lord's inquiry. It was Govinda's practice to take lunch when the Lord was asleep. On that day, however, seeing the Lord's weariness, Govinda continued massaging his body. There was no way to go. How could he leave? When he thought of crossing over the Lord's body, he considered it a great offense. These are some of the finer points of etiquette in devotional service. Only one who has received the mercy of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu can understand these principles. The Lord is very interested in manifesting the exalted qualities of his devotees, And that is why he engineered this incident. So anyone know why Govinda placed the cloth over Mahaprabhu? He was crossing, Mahaprabhu was at the doorway and he couldn't go across him. He had to go over Mahaprabhu to go and massage his feet, massage his leg, like that. But he put a cloth over and then he crossed Mahaprabhu. Anyone can say what was the reason he used a cloth? He put a cloth over Mahaprabhu, crossed Mahaprabhu, but he didn't come back over. So the reason for that is that he put the cloth over Mahaprabhu and crossed him over where the cloth was, so that none of his foot dust would go onto the Lord's body. So this was, you can see he was, as Mahaprabhu is saying, advanced devotee. So if our foot dust, it falls onto the Lord or touches somebody else, it's considered an offense, because we are always considering ourselves very, fallen, and very low. We don't want our feet to touch anybody. And we know the etiquette. As soon as our feet touches somebody, we touch the person and we ask for forgiveness immediately. Unintentionally, sometimes our feet may touch someone. So not only that, even when we are sitting as well, we notice that we don't point our feet in the direction of the deities. We don't point our feet in the direction of the Guru as well. So all these kinds of etiquette we are learning from the devotees. But here, for the sake of service, Govinda is putting the cloth and then is crossing over. So if any foot dust of his lands on the cloth, he takes it and dusts it off, and then nothing goes on the Lord like that. But he did not cross over again like that. So for service of the Lord, he's willing to make some offense. But for his own self to go and take prasadam, he did not cross. He stayed in the room. And Mahaprabhu understood this. So you can see how conscious Govinda was of this, moment in time and how he acted like that. So the Lord is engineering this pastime to teach this to us.
And I was sharing with Krishna Kinkar Prabhu earlier. There was, I couldn't find it, unfortunately, the actual quote, but Guru Maharaj, in one of his books, expresses a similar sort of mood to what Govinda is expressing here, where Guru Maharaj says that for the sake of service, we may have to step up onto the altar of the Lord. So in a practical way, if we are like serving the deities and we have to help decorate, we may have to step up to get to some place to put something there nicely, even though we are to consider ourselves lower than even the creepers or the grass in Vrindavan. We are of a lower nature than even the grass there. But still, for the sake of service, we may have to step on the altar like that. We have to be bold in that manner, that we will do some service and take that risk of, upon our head that we may commit some offense, but for the sake of service, we will have to do it.
Okay, let's continue.
Okay, so we are hearing about how the Lord is relishing the prasadam offered by his devotees, but there are also pastimes where the Lord is very lovingly offering prasadam to his devotees, as is the case of Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya. Now going to share a pastime which has been told by Srila Acharya Dev. So Srila Acharya Dev states, and this is in a discussion with a devotee. Also, there was a Brahma Jnana Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya. Mahaprabhu saved him, used him for the service of Govinda. Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya had a very big job at Jagannath temple, but he did not take Jagannath Prasad. And the devotee expressed in a surprised manner, Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya, he did not take Prasad? Srila Acharya Dev, no, he did not. He did not have devotion for Prasad, did not have a taste for Prasad. He arranged everything at the temple, but he himself ate at his home. Mahaprabhu thought, it is necessary to give him a taste of Prasad. If he does not take it, how will he understand how wonderful prasad is? So one day, Mahaprabhu came to Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya after Mangalarti with some prasad. Coming to his house, Mahaprabhu shouted, Sarvabhauma, are you at home? The Bhattacharya was in bed sleeping at that time. Hearing Mahaprabhu's voice, he quickly arose. Sarvabhauma, wake up, he shouted. Yes, yes, you have come so early. Yes, I have brought some Jagannath prasad for you. Prabhu, I have not brushed my teeth yet. I have not washed my face. How shall I take prasad? Asked Sarvabhauma. Mahaprabhu said, if you take Jagannath prasad, it is not necessary to wash your mouth or brush your teeth. Oh, yes, take this prasad. When Sarvabhauma took that prasad, he thought, oh, this is so sweet, so nice. From that day, he got the taste for Mahaprasad.
Beautiful pastime. Srimad Bhagavad Gita 9:26. Patram pushpam palam toyam yo me bhaktiya prayachati tadaham bhakti upaharitam asnami prayatatmanaha. If one offers to me with devotion a leaf, flower, fruit, or water, I affectionately accept the offering of the clean-hearted devotee. So Krishna is speaking to Arjuna on the battlefield, and he's saying that if any item is offered with devotion, he affectionately accepts it. But as we all understand that Lord Krishna is on the transcendental plane and we are on the mundane plane. So we cannot serve the Lord directly. We don't know how to serve the Lord properly. But we are serving under the guidance of our divine masters. Our beloved gurus are teaching us how to prepare the bhoga, how to serve with affection, and so on. Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur is writing in Shri Guruvastakam, and we sing this song every morning. Chaturvida Shri Bhagavat Prasado Shadvana Triptan Hari Bhakta Shanga Kritveva Triptim Bhajata Shadeva Vande Guru Shri Charana Ravindam. I worship the lotus feet of the Divine Master, who fully satisfies the devotees of Sri Krishna with 4 types of nectarian prasadam foodstuffs that are chewed, sucked, licked, and drunk. That is, he brings about the dispellation of mundanity and the awakening of the joy of love that develops from respecting prasadam. And he is thereby himself satisfied. So we are actually assisting our Gurudev in his service to their lordships. So we're not directly offering it to the Lord. We are always praying to Gurudev, please allow me to assist you, my dear Gurudev, in your service to their lordships, like this. And it is actually Gurudev who is offering the bhoga to the Lord, like this. And then we get a chance to honor the Mahaprasad afterwards. So it is by the mercy of Sri Guru that we get a chance to honor Mahaprasad. So here I managed to find some photographs and want to share with the devotees. The top right-hand corner is actually, we can see there Srila Swami Maharaj Prabhupada. Next to him is Srila Sridhar Maharaj. And then also another one of the God brothers sitting there. I was told it's Srila Krishnadas Babaji Maharaj. I'm not sure which of the God brothers that is. And then I was also told this could be Srila Govinda Maharaj sitting here. He was still young at the time. So this photo was taken during the opening ceremony of the Chandrodaya Mandir in 1973. So a very beautiful pastime. Some devotees have the very special honor. So fortunate they were being there and serving these great exalted Vaishnavas, you can see here. And if you look very closely there, you see Srila Prabhupada arranged for the devotees to make very nice special preparations for Srila Sridhar Maharaj. So you can see around his plate, there's so many little bowls of varieties of prasadam made special for him. Very beautiful pastime here. Top left-hand corner, we see Srila Prabhupada in his kitchen cooking, and you could see all the pots, everything shining there, so clean and so neat. And Srila Prabhupada, as we were told, he was very meticulous when it came to cooking, He always cooked with so much of care and attention, like that. And he was leading by example. He taught the devotees so nicely how to prepare prasadam. Bottom right hand corner, you can see Srila Gurudev, Srila Govinda Maharaj. So many varieties of preparations. And whenever he went on his world tour, the devotees from the different countries, they would make so many varieties of preparations and lovingly offer to him. And although Srila Gurudev could not take everything, but he would always try to taste some of it, just a little, just to give some honor, like that. So he was always so pleased to see how devotees in the Western world were preparing so much of different varieties. Bottom left-hand corner, Srila Acharya Dev is there, as you can see. He's watching, he's looking, always administrating and arranging, making sure everything is in order, for the festivals. And you can see so many different varieties there as well being prepared. And also he always makes sure that, before he even eats, he's always making sure that the devotees are being well fed, Everyone is taking to their heart satisfaction. And I remember one time during the 2018 Gaur Purim festival, devotees were taking prasadam on the first floor at the time. There was only 2 levels at the time. And he was coming around, and at that time the sweet was being served. And he was telling, give that Prabhu more rasgulla, give him another rasgulla, So like that, he says, Maharaj, he was pointing the time, Shri Parvat Maharaj. He says, Maharaj, you take another rasgulla, like that. So he was making sure the devotees are eating to their heart's content, He's always concerned, devotees need to eat because, with parikram, you got to do so much of walking and you're using so much of your energy. So he always is concerned of the devotees' health and making sure there's so much of, they have sufficient prasadam. Very caring, very loving. Okay, anybody got any questions at this stage, or anybody would like to add something?
Lakshmikanti, you must have something you can share regarding Srila Acharya Dev and the way his mood is with serving the devotees or prasadam. I know you've been there, even like on his Vyasa Puja Day where he cooked for himself. So come on, share. She's on mute.
Nanda Priya can share more than me. Because she has been for more time going to all the parikrams, and she's always serving prasadam in the parikram. So Nanda Priya has that strange. Srila Acharya Dev praise her and Ranjana a lot because during doing all the parikrams they served prasadam at each time. So she can cherish more than me.
Yes, but I don't know how I explain, because everybody know my English is not not good.
It's okay.
So
we
I
can
don't know how
whatever you can
understand.
express.
You
Whatever
say,
you want to, whatever you want to speak about.
We can understand.
So sorry, how do I explain? I have no idea.
It's okay.
No problem.
You don't need to explain, you just share your experience with
yes, we last year and before years, me and Ranju serving the prasadam, and what's the other? I don't know.
how you
And
have so much strange serving prasadam and doing the parikram. How you have that strange, because you serve it during all the 3 times at the breakfast, at the lunch, and when we come back from parikram, you also serve prasadam.
Yes, I don't know how, but we are doing. And prasadam cooking, other devotee, we are just serving. And we are always ready for serving. I don't know how. sorry, because my English is not very good. So I can't easily, I can't explain. That is my problem. Sorry.
It's very clear. I can understand. So it's very clear.
I know you understand, and Krishnanandani Didi understand, because we are many times we are together, but
Not to be sorry, Didi. We're always happy to hear you speak and always happy seeing you there in the month and watching you how so relentlessly, you know, as Didi was saying, so much energy serving the devotees so lovingly, especially late in the evening. I know a few times I was so tired and I couldn't manage, but you were still going, you know, so you're inspiring us with the service mode.
maybe we have a Gurudev mercy, maybe.
There's definitely.
So we are doing.
Yes, everything by the sweet mercy of Srila Gurudev.
Yes.
Okay, so let us continue with the next slide.
So now on to food for the soul, Harinam Sankirtan. So the 7 groups began chanting and beating their drums in 7 directions, and Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu began dancing in the center in great ecstatic love. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu remembered a line in the Orisan language and ordered Swarup Damodar to sing it. Let my head fall at the feet of Jagannath in the Kirtan hall known as Jagamohan. So we find this Bengali verse. Sankirtana kola hale akasa bedila shaba Jagannatha vashi dekita aila. Kirtana atope pritivi kore talamala haridvane kore loka haila kola hala. So Mahaprabhu said this verse, he remembered from the Orisan language and ordered Swarup Damodar to sing it. Let my head fall at the feet of Jagannath in the Kirtan hall known as Jagamohan. Simply because of this line, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was dancing greatly in ecstatic love. People all around him floated in the water of his tears. Raising his 2 arms, the Lord said, chant, chant. Floating in transcendental bliss, the people responded by chanting the holy name of Hari. Nityananda Prabhu informed him of the fatigue of the chanters and dancers. Understanding the fatigue of the devotees, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu stopped the congregational chanting. Then he bathed in a sea, accompanied by them all. Then Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu took prasadam with them all and asked them to return their dwellings and take rest. So again, I'm kind of brought back to Acharya Dev, leading the kirtan on the parikram. And then somehow he is finding the energy to make sure that everyone else is eating and taking prasadam nicely. And like we're all sort of destroyed as we get back to the temple. But Acharya Dev is off out again on his travels to collect and do whatever else he has to do during this time. But he's making sure that all the devotees are taking prasadam. I don't know, this one thing made me think like of something from the Nectar of Instruction by Rupa Goswami. My Sanskrit pronunciation is even worse than my Bengali, but Dadati Pratigrinati Guyam Akyati Prichati Bhungte Bojayate Chaiva Sadvidam Priti Laksanam. This is translated by Swami Prabhupada as offering gifts in charity, accepting charitable gifts, revealing one's mind and confidence, inquiring confidentially, accepting prasada and offering prasadam are the 6 symptoms of love shared by one devotee and another. So I suppose even on a mundane level, people out of affection for family and friends, their loved ones, they're cooking something and want to make sure that they enjoy it. But here we're being told that this is a way we should reciprocate with the devotees, with each other, that we should be not only accepting prasad from them, but also offering them prasad. And so I thought that was kind of a, an important thing that for prasadam, when thinking about what is prasadam, it's something that we can offer with love and affection to the devotees.
Thanks for sharing that, Prabhu. Much appreciated. Anybody would like to ask any questions at this time, or anyone can say what they've learned from this discussion that we had? Anything that stands out for you? Please feel free to speak.
Well, I want to say one thing. First of all, this presentation is really the hard work and devotion of Krishna Kinkar Prabhu, and anything that is good that has come from this is from his devotion and endeavor, while anything bad is coming from me, I'm afraid. So my apologies to everyone, and let's please give it up for Krishna Kinkar Prabhu.
Jai Gurudev, Jai Gurudev. Thank you. You're too kind, you're too humble. Actually, I didn't do the slides on my own. I was just doing some slide editing. It's actually Krishanandani Didi that basically put most of the slides together. Yeah. So actually, all credit goes to her. Yeah. So I would like to share a nice little video clip of Srila Acharya doing some cooking. This was quite an old video. So see if I can see how to do this. Can everyone see this?
Not yet, Prabhu.
Not yet.
Not sharing? Okay, let me share it there now.
Yes.
Yes, all right. This is quite an old video I managed to find some time ago. I somehow had it saved on my laptop, and I thought this was appropriate to share the devotees. This is quite amazing. Jai Gurudev. So next to Sishalacharya cooking, and you notice he's not, using any kind of measuring instruments there. He's just taking spices and he's just throwing in there. Even the oil as well, he's just pouring it there. So you can see cooking with so much of love and affection for the Lord and for the devotees. I was trying to figure out the place. I was, I haven't seen that kitchen area. Anyone can?
That is Navadip.
Is it Navadvip?
Yes.
Okay.
It's a kitchen in Navadip.
Wow. All right. Lovely. It was quite an old video. You can see some of the devotees. See, they're so young there. Yeah. Good memories. Okay, so anybody else wants to say, ask some questions or some comments before we do some kirtan?
I just wanted to say that I just experience from the programs how incredible that Acharya Maharaj organizes the prasadam distribution on the programs. And we think with so many hundreds of devotees, and you're going far, and he arranges all the amazing prasadam to come, and it's quite incredible, I think.
Yeah, he's super amazing, super energetic, and always thinking, caring for the devotees. And in 2018, I somehow had the good fortune of, accompanying him and a few devotees when he was doing the buying. It was the first time when he was starting the parikram from Nishingapali. So he had to get all, new items like bedding, like the pillowcases, bed sheets and things like that. And also buy the ingredients for cooking and take it there to Nishingapali. So and I was watching him, he was like, walking the whole time, going shop to shop, purchasing the different items. And he was like not getting tired, and, he was so energetic. And at the same time, we were seeing him and watching how he was moving and doing the buying. And we somehow became energized. And at the end of the day, we could not even, try to imagine how is it that we spent the whole day walking, moving with him, and, how did all that energy come? It was so inconceivable. So he's very inspiring, and, really you can see he's moving with divine inspiration, and he's inspiring us at the same time. Gurudev. Anyone else would like to share or ask any questions?
So if anything, what have people taken away from this today? Is there anything that people found to, gave some insight, or something that, made them think of something from their own experiences, or how we can apply these things to our own day-to-day life and interactions with each other?
Just pay attention to the not overeating. No, it's true. With the excuse that it's prasadam, we just tend to be unregulated. It's prasadam. We're just honoring the Lord, the Lord's remnant. So we just get that as an excuse to eat.
I've heard that from some sort of senior devotees, that when they first came to Krishna consciousness, in like normally from ISKCON and stuff, that they would pile plates super high and just eat plate after plate after plate, sweets and ghee fried things and non-stop. And then now, like in their later years, they're suffering so much. And they say, they really kind of regret that.
But I actually do have a question in terms of that, because I have been eating that Acharya Dev says that many times. Do not eat fancy foods, and keep simple. But at the same time, and also he emphasized only take prasadam. But we are always as well encouraged to offer the best for the Lord, right? So how you can like offer the best for the Lord, and then you have deities and you are in the temple, for example, and you offer the best for the Lord, but you yourself cannot eat fancy food, but only you should eat prasadam. So I understand that in festivals is another thing, but how to like harmonize that concept, to not fall in the enjoyment instead of honoring prasadam.
Very good question. I can try and maybe say something on that, and then maybe somebody else can also say. So when we say we offer the best to the Lord, it means the best quality. So it all starts from when we go out there and we buy the different bhoga, the different types of bhoga for the Lord, whether it's the vegetables or the fruit or the grains. So when we're thinking we must offer the best to the Lord, it means the best quality. And we see here in this pastime how Advaita Acharya, Shivananda Sen, and also Raghava Pandit, they say that they brought this, very costly. They use the word in Srila Krishnadas Kaviraj is using the word very costly, offerings they brought from Mahaprabhu. So it means it was made with the best quality. It's not, food stuff, bhoga that is very stale or something that is expired. So from the time we go out there and we buy the different food preparations, we see the expiry date on the packet of the rice or the dal. Make sure it is not expired. So it's good quality. And the vegetables as well. It's not like worn out and shriveled and shrunk, It looks nice and fresh. And that's how we'll always be conscious, even from the very beginning when we are buying. And also when we are cooking, we are fully conscious. When we are offering, we're fully conscious. So it all starts from the time we're buying, the different items for the Lord. Be fully conscious and making sure it's the best quality. And I will try not to be cheap. Let's put it that way. So doesn't mean eating the best of food means now we'll have opulent food. So the difference between the best of the food and opulent food. So yes, opulent food, as you mentioned, that we can have during festivals, like paneer and rasagolas and all that. But doesn't mean we'll eat that every day. No. But we'll give Krishna the best quality of foodstuffs every day. Live simple, eat simple, but simple living, higher thinking, like that. And Srila Acharya Dev is giving a little story he's telling about the ant and the elephant. The ant is eating very little because of its size, but the ant has got this ego problem. He's thinking, oh, I am eating so little, I am like a sadhu. But look at this elephant, he's eating so much every day. But the ant is eating so little, but what is he doing? All it can do is come and bite you and give you some pain and anxiety. But what is the elephant doing? The elephant is carrying Krishna on his back. So the elephant is eating because it needs to do service. So Srila Acharya Dev says, if you're doing service, you can eat up to your neck. You can take as much as you want for service. And he's quoting what Srila Bhaktisiddhanta is saying, full prasadam, full seva. That's how we look at it. Jai Gurudev. Anybody else wants to comment on that? Praneshwari Didi, you have your hand up?
Yes, I want to mention that once Srila Chaitanya commented that there was a devotee who got very, very hungry on Ekadashi, and he was just like in a lot of anxiety. And Srila Chaitanya simply said, cook 5 kilos of potatoes and eat that. You will be satisfied.
Yes, I remember that. Yeah. Because his job was quite heavy. He was doing very heavy work, and not mistaken, I think he was working for some shipbuilding company or something. So it's very heavy duty work. And how are you going to fast when you start doing work early hours of the morning like that? It's not easy to fast, and then, where are you going to get the energy from to do such, heavy duty work, So that's why Srila Gurudev said that, Srila Acharya Dev said, yes, eat 5 kg potatoes if you need to, nothing wrong. Because the usual or general rule in the Math is that on Ekadashi days, we only eat after 12. We do bhoga offering and then we eat after lunch. The devotees usually fast the first half of the day. But, for the sake of service, your job is also your service. We're not seeing our job as something different. Gurudev is saying that you must see your job as your service to your guru. And if it means you need to eat and do your service to guru, then by all means, eat, get the energy, continue with the service. No offense in that. Jai Gurudev. Thanks for sharing that, Didi. Okay. So Krishnanandani Didi was very excited about having the kirtan and doing something a little different today, and having different devotees having turns to chant, make it a little exciting. So
Yes.
I'm not sure if the devotees have all got the message as who was chanting first and second and third. We'll give it a go. Let's try it.
The other devotees might not be aware of it. I see Rajeshwari is there, Saraswati Didi is there. So Uma Devi is there as well. So
Hare
they all
Krishna,
can
Dandavat
take
Pranam.
turns.
Dandavat Suma Devi,
Dandavat Pranam.
Saraswati Didi.
Dandavat,
Sorry,
Dandavat.
let me put it on.
Jill is also here, I think. Jill is also
Let me
here.
put it on gallery view.
Yes.
Dandavats to all the devotees. Dandavats. Sorry, I didn't have it on gallery view, so I couldn't see everybody. Thank you for joining us. Rajeshwari Didi, how are you? Dandavats.
Mute right now. Okay, yeah, I'm fine,
Yeah.
Prabhu. Thank you.
Okay.
So
Thank you for
excited.
joining.
I'm a food person. I'm a prasad person. So
Yes.
thank you for arranging all this. Thank you so much.
And thank you for sharing some of your preparations on Instagram. And I'm not sure about Facebook,
yeah.
but I always see your posts on Instagram. Thoroughly enjoying it and very inspiring. Yes, thank you.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you. It is Gurudev's mercy. It is he who has given me the blessing to start a restaurant in Singapore. It is
Very
going
nice.
on very well with his blessings. Yeah, and whatever I can contribute, I will.
Jai Gurudev.
Yes, Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. And also to the other devotees as well. I know Lakshmikanti Didi also sharing on Instagram, and some of the other devotees, we are very grateful for that. We're always willing to learn, new recipes and try to always offer something different for Gurudev for his satisfaction. So thank you all for sharing. Really appreciate it. Okay, so how we're gonna go the kirtan as it is, as it was sent earlier. We'll stick to that list. Is that fine? Okay.
Yes.
So let me share with you some on the screen. Okay. There we go. Everyone can see that. So everyone can maybe unmute and then everyone can join in the kirtan. So Hare Haraya Nama Krishna Jadavaya Namaha.
Hare Haraya Nama Krishna Jadavaya Nama.
Jadavaya Madhavaya Keshavaya Namaha.
Jadavaya Madhavaya Keshavaya Nama.
Gopal Govindaram Sri Madhusudana.
Gopal Govindaram Sri Madhusudana.
Giridhari Gopinata Matana Mohana.
Giridhari Gopinata Mohana.
Shri Chaitanya Nityananda Shri Advaita Chandra.
Shri Chaitanya Nityananda Shri Advaita Chandra.
Radhara Shivashadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda.
Radhara Sivasadi Gaura Vrinda.
Jaya Rupa Sanatana Bhatta Raghunatha.
Jaya Rupa Sanatana Bhatta Raghunatha.
Shri Jiva Gopala Bhatta Dasa Raghunatha.
Shri Jiva Gopala Bhatta Dasa Raghunatha.
Echa Goshai Kori Charana Vandana.
Echai Goshari Kori Charana Vandana.
Aha Hoite Vignana Sapista Purana.
Jaha Vaite Vishnana Purana.
Echai Goshai Jar Mutara Dasha.
Echai Goshari Jara Muritara Dasa.
Asabara padarenu mora panchagrasha.
Asavara padarenu mora panchagrasa.
Atera charana sevi bhakta shane basha.
Tadera charana sevi bhakta nivasa.
Janame janame more abhilasha.
Janame more abhilasa.
Echai goshai jabbe brajya kule basha.
Echai gosai jabe braja koi basa.
Radha Krishna Nitya Leela Kurila Prakasha.
Radha
Radha
Krishna
Krishna
Nitya Leela
Nitya Leela Kurila
Prakasa.
Prakasa.
Anande Bolo Hari Bhaja Vrindavana.
Anande bolo Hari Bhaja Vrindavana.
Sri Guru Vaishnava Pade Majai Amana.
Sri Guru
Guru
Vaishnava
Vaishnava Pade
Majai
Majayamana.
Amana.
Sri Guru Vaishnava Pad Padma Kuriyasha.
Sri Guru Vaishnava
Guru
Pad
Vaishnava Pada
Padma
Padma
Hasa.
Kuriyasa.
Ninama Sankirtana Kohe Naratama Dasha.
Harinama
Harinama
Sankirtana
Sankirtana
Kohe
Kohena
Dasa.
Madasa.
Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare.
Hare
Hare
Krishna
Krishna, Hare
Krishna
Krishna,
Krishna
Krishna
Hare
Krishna,
Hare.
Hare Hare.
Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare.
Hare
Hare
Rama Hare
Rama,
Rama
Hare
Rama
Rama,
Rama
Rama
Hare
Rama, Hare
Hare.
Hare.
Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna
Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Krishna
Hare
Krishna
Krishna,
Krishna
Krishna
Hare
Krishna,
Hare.
Hare Hare.
Hare Rama Rama Hare.
Hare Rama
Hare
Hare
Rama,
Rama
Hare
Rama
Rama,
Rama Hare
Rama
Hare.
Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare.
Hare
Hare
Krishna
Hare
Krishna
Hare
Krishna,
Krishna
Hare
Krishna
Krishna,
Krishna
Krishna
Hare
Krishna,
Hare
Hare.
Hare
Hare.
Hare.
Hare Rama, Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare
Hare
Rama Hare
Hare
Rama
Rama,
Rama
Rama
Rama Hare
Rama Hare
Hare.
Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare.
Hare
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 Krishna
Krishna,
Krishna
Hare
Krishna
Krishna
Krishna,
Krishna
Hare
Krishna
Krishna
Hare.
Krishna,
Hare
Hare
Hare.
Hare.
Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare
Hare
Rama
Rama
Hare
Hare
Rama
Hare
Rama
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 Hare
Hare
Hare.
Hare.
Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Krishna
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare.
Hare
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 Krishna
Hare
Krishna
Hare
Krishna
Krishna,
Krishna
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 Hare
Krishna
Krishna,
Hare
Hare.
Hare
Hare.
Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare
Hare
Rama Hare
Rama,
Rama
Hare
Rama
Rama,
Rama
Rama
Hare
Rama,
Hare.
Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare.
Hare
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 Krishna
Krishna,
Hare
Krishna
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 Hare
Hare
Hare.
Hare.
Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare
Hare
Rama
Rama
Hare
Hare
Rama
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 Rama,
Hare
Rama
Hare
Hare
Hare.
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 Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare.
Hare
Hare Krishna,
Krishna Krishna
Krishna,
Krishna
Krishna
Hare
Krishna,
Hare.
Hare Hare.
Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare.
Hare
Hare
Rama Hare Rama Rama
Rama,
Rama
Hare
Hare
Hare.
Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare.
Hare
Hare
Krishna
Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Hare
Hare
Krishna
Krishna,
Krishna
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 Hare
Krishna,
Krishna
Hare.
Hare
Krishna Hare
Hare.
Hare.
Hare Ram, Ram, Hare Hare.
Hare
Hare
Rama
Hare
Rama,
Hare
Rama,
Rama
Hare
Rama
Rama,
Rama
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 Hare
Rama,
Hare
Hare.
Hare
Hare.
Hare.
Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare.
Hare
Hare
Krishna
Krishna,
Hare
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 Krishna,
Krishna
Krishna,
Hare
Krishna
Krishna
Krishna,
Krishna
Krishna,
Krishna
Hare
Hare
Hare.
Krishna,
Hare.
Hare Hare.
Hare Rama Rama Hare.
Hare
Hare
Rama
Rama,
Rama,
Hare
Hare
Rama,
Rama,
Rama
Rama
Rama,
Rama,
Nishwari
Hare
ji.
Hare
Hare.
Hare. Praneshwari.
Nitai Gauranga Jaya Nitai Gauranga.
Nitai
Jai
Gauranga
Gauranga
Jaya,
Jaya,
Nitai
Nitai
Gauranga.
Gauranga.
Nitai Gauranga.
Nitai, Nitai,
Nitai,
Nitai,
Nitai,
Nitai,
Nitai, Nitai,
Nitai
Nitai,
Gauranga.
Gauranga.
Nitai Gauranga Jaya Nitai Gauranga.
Nitai
Nitai
Gauranga
Gauranga
Jaya,
Jaya,
Nitai
Nitai
Gauranga.
Gauranga.
Nitai Gauranga Jaya Gaura Hari.
Nitai Gauranga
Jaya
Hari.
Hari.
Gaura 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 Hari.
Gaura 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 Hari.
Gaura 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 Hari.
Gaura 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 Hari.
Jaya Sachinandana Gaura Hari.
Jai Sachinandana Gaura Hari.
Jaya Sachinandana Jai Sachinandana.
Jai Sachinandana Jai Sachinandana.
Jaya Sachinandana Gaura Hari.
Jai Sachinandana Gaura Hari.
Nitai Gauranga Jaya Nitai Gauranga.
Nitai Gauranga
Nitai
Jaya
Gauranga
Nitai
Jaya Nitai
Gauranga.
Gauranga.
Nitai Gauranga Jaya Gaura Hari.
Nitai
Nitai
Gauranga Jaya
Gauranga Jaya
Gaura
Gaura
Hari.
Hari.
Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare.
Hare
Hare
Krishna
Krishna,
Krishna
Hare
Krishna
Krishna,
Hare
Krishna
Hare.
Hare Hare.
Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare.
Hare
Hare
Rama
Rama,
Rama
Hare
Rama
Rama,
Rama
Rama
Hare
Rama,
Hare.
Hare Hare.
Nitai Gaura Hari Bol Hari Bol Hari Bol Nitai Gaura Hari Bol.
Nitai Gaura Hari Bol, Hari
Hari
Bol, Hari
Bol,
Bol,
Hari
Nitai
Bol,
Gaura
Nitai
Hari
Gaura Hari
Bol.
Bol.
Nitai Gaura Hari Bol Hari Bol Hari Bol Nitai Gaura Hari Bol.
Nitai Gaura
Nitai
Hari
Gaura Hari
Bol, Hari
Bol, Hari
Bol.
Bol, Hari Bol, Nitai Gaura Hari Bol.
Jai Gaur Premanande.
Hari Hari
Hari
Bol.
Bol.
Jai Shaparikara Shri Guru Gauranga Gandharva Gavana Sandhar Ji ki
Jai.
Jai Shri Shri Guru Gaur Nityananda Ji ki Jai.
Jai.
Jai Am Vishnu Jagat Guru Shri Srila Bhakti Nirmala Acharya Maharaj ki Jai.
Jai.
Jai Am Vishnu Jagat Guru Shri Srila Bhakti Sundar Govinda Dev Goswami Maharaj ki Jai.
Jai.
Am Vishnu Jagat Guru Shri Srila Bhakti Rakshidhar Dev Goswami Maharaj ki Jai.
Jai.
Om Vishnu Srila Bhakti Vedanta Swami Maharaj Srila Prabhupada ki Jai.
Jai.
Jai Shri Rupa Anuga Guru Varga ki Jai.
Jai.
Anant Koti Vaishnava Vrinda ki Jai.
Jai.
Namacharya Srila Haridas Thakur ki Jai.
Jai.
Jai Shah Prasad Shri Nityananda Prabhu ki Jai.
Jai.
Jai Shah Prasad Shriman Mahaprabhu ki Jai.
Jai.
Shri Radha Krishna Prabhu Gopani Shamakunda Radhakunda Giri Govardhan ki Jai.
Jai.
Jai Shri Chaitanya SCSMath ki Jai.
Jai.
All the assembled devotees ki Jai. All the worldwide devotees ki Jai. Shri Harinam Sankirtan ki Jai. Jai Gaur Premanande Hari.
Hari Hari
Bol.
Bol.
Jai Gurudev.
Jai.
Please forgive me for my offenses. And hopefully everybody enjoyed today's session.
I just would like to say that your offense against paneer will never be forgotten, though, Prabhu.
Offense
Like-
again? Paneer.
Yes. Telling my wife not to cook paneer every day. Shh.
Yes. That's not unthinkable in this house.
Make more shukta for him, Didi.
Oh, you want him to throw me out of the house, definitely.
Extra butter and cream. And cashew nuts.
Jai Gurudev. Yeah, the devotees will be sharing so much of recipes going forward, and Kanupriya can tell you more about that. Jai Gurudev.
Looking forward to next Saturday. We have Nashingadas from Brazil, I think, going to be sharing his or their ashram, their garden, showing us their garden and some prasadam preparations. So looking forward to see you next week. I think so. Sorry for that. So, Dandavat Pranam, everybody. Hare Krishna.
Dandavad.
Dandavad to everyone.
Dhanyavad.
Dandavad.
See you all tomorrow
Thanks everyone
during
for
Shila Charit.
attending.
Yes, see you
Dandavad. Dandavad. Looking forward
Nitai
next week.
Gaura Hari Bol.
Looking forward to seeing
Hare
everyone
Krishna.
tomorrow.
Yes.
Yes.
Acharya Dev
Bye.
Zoom session.
Dandavad.
Yes.
Dandavad. Dandavad.
Dandavad. Dandavad.
Hare Krishna.